As I said in my last video, the experience of producing and posting my own video was very interesting, and it actually brought about some feelings and thoughts that I had not actually anticipated. So I've now come up with some questions that emerged directly from the experiences myself. In fact, I'm thinking about actually documenting this as the experience of using YouTube separately from what YouTube and Twitter and things like that are doing to our social interaction and and the whole sense of global community. So what I found was when I produced the video and I watched it here in my house, I thought, good, excellent, I made my points. I think I spoke slowly, which is unusual for me, and I spoke clearly. And then I posted it up to YouTube and I watched it online, and all of a sudden I found that I paused, and I was somewhat gobsmacked by the fact that all of a sudden people all over the planet could, if they chose, stop and see a few minutes of my thoughts. And I found that I was experiencing something that I hadn't really experienced before. I'm not a shy person by any stretch of the imagination. I speak quite regularly to groups, of 1,000 people or more, and I've never suffered any form of stage fright or ever been hesitant to speak publicly. So I found it very interesting that all of a sudden I was anxious about the possibility that other people are going to be watching and perhaps commenting. And it's not the commenting. It's when you speak publicly, you always have to be prepared to have people who challenge you or to even speak out while you're speaking and heckle you. To me, that's part of the process, and it's an interesting part. You have to stay on your toes and be able to defend your arguments, or be humorous or witty or what have you. So it's not the idea of people commenting. It was different. It was different. It was interesting for me, and so all of a sudden I wondered, well, does this happen to everybody? And is this one of those factors that prevents people from posting on YouTube? Because I watched the video a couple times. I suspect that most of the views are probably me, and I found that I went from thinking, great, I've got my questions out there, maybe I'll be lucky and some people will actually post some answers, and so I'll be able to get an idea of what's going on. But all of a sudden I thought, oh, do I really look like that? It's kind of like hearing your voice on audio tape for the first time, and you say, boy, do I really sound like that? You never really sound the way you think you sound, and I guess you never really appear the way that you think you appear. And I was like, boy, I really look tired. Of course, I just traveled across the entire continent in one day, so that was kind of to be expected. But my face looks awfully pudgy. My head looks huge. I seem to have some sort of, left-sided goiter, reminiscent of John McCain, and I assure you I don't have any kind of goiter, and I found that I was somewhat uncomfortable with the idea that other people could see me, which is unusual because I'm not a shy person. So I wonder if that is one of those factors. And that was the predominant question that came from the experience, because, as I said in the last video, I'm trying to see what it is that compels people to post, to use this technology to put themselves out there and to express themselves, and at the same time, what is it that is making people who aren't doing that reluctant to do that? And is it the idea that disembodied individuals, well, they're not disembodied, they have bodies, but people you don't know. And I think that's the crux of the question. In everyday interaction with other individuals, for the most part, you actually know them. You see them. You're getting kind of a two-way stream of communication. You're picking up on unconscious cues. You're picking up on nonverbal communication. But with this, you don't know who's seeing it. You don't know who's watching. You don't know what they're thinking, and you can't pick up on it. And so you're left to your own imagination. And I wonder if that plagues some of us and makes us reluctant to use it. And for those of us that don't, why is it that we aren't affected? And so that was the question. Some of the YouTube video makers out there are YouTube video makers. YouTubers. I've got to come up with a better term. if any of you have a better term for me, let me know. But some of the people that are making very popular YouTube videos and getting hundreds of thousands of hits, they are exposing aspects of themselves that the whole world can see. And if it's a character or a facade that you're putting on, then you can control that, you can shape it, and I don't think it affects your your self-identity or your image if anybody says anything. But if it's you, and if you're sharing yourself with the rest of the world, how do having people make comments affect you? I suspect that for many people who post, it's not going to affect you adversely, but I've read the comments that are posted on a lot of people's YouTube pages, and some of the comments are unnecessarily callous, and really some of them are quite ignorant, and I wonder, and that's a whole different question, why people would do that, but I wonder how some people are able to withstand the onslaught of that kind of negative commentary to their videos when they're not doing something that's crafted and planned and shaped, but merely just putting themselves out there. So anybody else who's posted or is not posted and is and has anything to comment on that because they've experienced it themselves, or they know that is one of the reasons why they haven't posted, I would certainly be thrilled to hear from you, because that for me was a very unexpected consequence of posting my first YouTube video. I felt for the first time in my life, I think, what most people feel when they say they have stage fright or they're shy, and it was an interesting experience. So there's question 1A from the YouTube experience. Do you get shy when you do it, or do you don't do it because you're shy? And what does that mean? So something else to think about, something more for me to think about, and I think now that I've done 3 videos that it should probably get easier. Well, it is easy now. So thank you very much, and have a good day.